evening. I'm Jan Kowalski with Greenslate I Incorporated, and tonight I'm joined by Anthony Driver. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And tonight I'm going to be discussing 20th Ward politics with Mr. Driver, who is a candidate for the 20th Ward Alderman. But before we get into that, I'm brought to you by Greenslate I Incorporated. Greenslate I Incorporated is dedicated to assisting the lives of ex-convicts. They have any number of programs, including Feeding the Families of Inglewood. There's a Kirby's Kids Camp, and I'm forgetting one. They've got reentry programs, as well as my favorite is through the Circuit Court of Cook County. They're an approved community service provider. So if you have any community service hours that need to be fulfilled, please contact my sponsor, which is Greenslate I Incorporated. Now you can reach Greenslate I Incorporated. Here's their information. It's a little small, but hopefully you can see it. Greenslate I can be reached at 217-600-1846, and their website is Greenslate Institute, 4, justice@gmail.com. And last but not least, that was their email address. And their website is Greenslate Institute, 4, justice, and they're at weebly.com. And of course, I'm your host. I'm Jan Kowalski McDonald. And there I am, Kowalski McDonald. And to help you remember my name, it is a Polish surname, that Kowalski. I've got a picture here of a couple of pieces of coal. And here's my nice brick wall. And last but not least, I've got some beautiful looking skis. If you put that all together, it's Kowalski. And to help you remember, I've got my little koala bear. There he is, Kowalski, koala bear. He's giving you the thumbs up. And I know you want to say Kawasaki. No, it's not Kawasaki. It's Kowalski. And to help you once again, there's my little koala, and he's 100% qualified. So that's me. So let me introduce you all again to Anthony Driver. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. And can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
So again, my name is Anthony Driver. I'm a candidate for 20th Ward Alderman. I'm a fourth-generation resident of the Back of the Yards community. I'm a graduate of Howard University with 2 degrees from Howard. I've studied politics in different countries. I've been an activist on the South Side for a long time, as well as in D.C., and been involved in pretty much every field of government, municipal, state, Congress, national, you name it. I've pretty much got my feet wet in every field of politics, but decided that Chicago was still home and I wanted to come back here after I graduated from college and make a difference in my community, and especially touch the marginalized people in my community, in my ward, who haven't been involved with the political process or have been pushed out to the outskirts of our society and forgotten about.
Now, of course, this is a live interactive show on KMTV Channel 21, and we're also streaming live at kmtv.com/hotline. And if you want to participate in today's show by calling in with comments, questions, or concerns for myself or Mr. Driver, please feel free to call the number at the bottom of your screen. The number should be 312-738-1060. Now, Mr. Driver, can you tell our audience why you decided to run for Alderman in the 20th Ward?
I decided to run for Alderman because I'm absolutely disgusted with the status quo. As I was coming home and living in my community and looking around and seeing the issues that we were facing, seeing our elderly be pushed out to the suburbs into Indiana, seeing the violence in my community, seeing the drug usage, and seeing how our politicians just weren't paying attention. They were beholden to special interests and corporate entities as opposed to being beholden to our people. And just being disgusted with that process and seeing how it was affecting my people, it spurred me into action and spurred my desire to run for office.
You know, I was wondering, I think that 20th Ward, isn't that kind of demographically mixed? Aren't there a lot of Hispanics in that community?
Yeah, so Hispanics are the second largest demographic in the ward. The first largest is African American. It's about 82% African American, 82% black.
And do you have a specific platform that you're running on, Anthony?
Yeah, so the motto of my campaign, the theme of my campaign is to put residents back in the driver's seat. So I want to put...
Oh, wait, but you're Anthony Driver.
Absolutely.
And you're putting residents in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
right?
so
Anthony Driver, putting you in the driver's seat.
It's definitely a play on my last name, but it's significant to me because I want to make sure that our residents know that they're the one in charge. They're who our politicians should be beholden to, and they're the ones who I want to make sure that I'm pushing their agenda. So I'm running. I'm trying to put residents. I will put residents back in the driver's seat. I want to make sure that we reach our elderly, the least of the people who our society has left out, as well as the people who are actively engaged in our political process and who have been marginalized as well.
Well, Mr. Driver, what plans do you have?
So one of the first things I want to do once I'm elected is to put legislation forward to abolish duplicate tickets. So recently,
I'm sorry, what was that, duplicate tickets?
duplicate parking tickets.
Oh,
yes.
parking tickets.
Yes. So if you look in our communities, the top 10 communities where the city of Chicago has been ticketing residents with more than one parking ticket or city sticker fines has been 10 black neighborhoods, all of them over 80% black. Four of them lie in my ward. So what will happen if you're already a poor resident and you're struggling to make ends meet, and you go to work, sometimes you may have to work a double shift. The city gives you 3 parking tickets in one day for the same exact offense.
Oh, I had no idea. They'll give you 3 tickets for the same
sometimes even
parking
4.
spot.
Sometimes even 4, especially the city sticker violations. So many of our residents are getting $200 tickets 3 times a day. And you can imagine if you're already struggling to make ends meet, how much further that will push you down and kind of discourage you from living the life that you deserve.
Well, I think Cook County is one of the highest counties in the nation for the amount of the tickets. Parking tickets, I don't think they're no longer $20 tickets. You're saying these are $200 tickets?
Yes, the city sticker fines are $200 fines.
Wow, and how do you plan to help the residents in the 20th Ward with that?
I want to abolish red light cameras, first of all, and I also want to abolish duplicate tickets. You should not be ticketed twice for the same offense. I also think that we need to look into our booting system. That's just a way of keeping the least of the residents who can't afford garages, the residents who don't live on the north side. That's a way to extract more money out of an already starved population.
I'm going to stop you there. Anthony, I think we have a caller for you. Caller, do you have a comment, question, or concern for Mr. Driver? Oh, I guess we lost him there. Sorry, maybe they'll call back. Please call back. The number's at the bottom of your screen. All right, in addition to the booting and the parking tickets, how else can you help the 20th Ward residents?
So I want to have a robust jobs training program. So each alderman each year gets $97,000 in an expense account. Most of these aldermen use it to pay for personal expenses. They use it to rent cars and pay for personal cars and office space. I would like for that budget to be used for revitalizing our communities. So 3 to 4 days a week, you should be able to come into your automatic office. If your child needs help paying for a college application, you should be able to come there and get it. If you need resume building, you should be able to come there and get it. If you need to use a computer or print things, you should be able to come to your automatic office and do that. Your automatic office should be a hub for the community where it's always open. The community know they can always come there and depend on their alderman and his or her staff to support them. So I want to use that entire expense account to revitalize our ward. So again, jobs training programs. If you need an apprenticeship program, if you need access to capital, if you need access to jobs, you should be able to come into your automatic office and receive support for that.
Well, Anthony, are there currently any programs like that in the 20th Ward?
So mostly what I've been noticing is that our current aldermen, they like to tag on to other people's programs. So they'll find work that someone in the community is already doing, and they'll try to spread the word on what they're doing. What I'm saying is that work needs to start with government. Your alderman needs to work for you. The city government needs to work for you. That's why you pay their salary. That's why you pay taxes. So we need to be giving that back to you, and we need to fix that system. It's a broken system right now. We cannot rely entirely on the private sector to do the work that our government should have been doing for years.
Well, are there any problems right now in the 20th Ward that you want to tackle right away?
Absolutely. Definitely the issues of I can go on and on. We can talk about the property taxes and how it's forcing our residents out. We can talk about the gang violence, the drug usage in the ward.
Mr. Driver, hang on. I think our caller returned. Caller, do you have a comment, question, or concern for Mr. Anthony Driver? Oh, I think we lost him again. I'm sorry. Please call back. The number's at the bottom of your screen. We welcome your comments, questions, and concerns. I'm sorry, what were your immediate problems that you wanted to address in the 20th Ward?
Yeah, so I'll just pick a few. First, I'm absolutely for an elected school board. Again, I want to put residents back in the driver's seat. I think our residents need to be in control of what's going on in their community, not corporate interests and not private donors. So I want an elected school board. I also want an elected police board. We've seen over and over how this is not working, the system of government and police oversight that's handpicked by the mayor and some of his allies, how it has not been working for us. We saw that recently with the murder of Maurice Granson. So I think that board needs to be entirely elected by the people.
Yeah, I think our caller returned. Caller, do we have a caller?
Yes, Ms. Kowalski.
Oh, hi, Ray. How are you tonight?
Oh, fine, and you?
Oh, wonderful. The weather's finally beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm out there 7 years old in the backyard suntanning.
Oh, no, good. Look at you. Well,
Yeah.
our alderman candidate here wants to help seniors. What do you think about that, Ray?
You know, what gets me, I'm a senior, but the thing is about the tickets. I agree with him 100%. That's for sure. Double, triple, quadruple tickets. People can't pay that.
Absolutely not.
But I don't agree with him about the stickers. People know twice a year they have to pay for their stickers.
Oh, you're talking the cities, the stickers on the vehicles?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And they know that. So they can't save $10 a month or something for that.
Yeah, I think that's just one of those costs of operating a vehicle in the city of Chicago. I think it goes to fixing your streets.
So I'm
You've
not
got good streets over there, right, Ray?
Yeah, but you know what? I want to say this, please. If you're a Rahm Emanuel man, nothing's going to change. And I think that you're not, and that you know that. Only because he goes out there when a 3-year-old child is shot and killed and sheds a tear. That's the only time you see him out there. He don't care about the neighborhood. He cares about himself, and that's wrong.
Rahm cares about his friends.
Yeah.
Rahm cares about corporate interests and how much money he can raise.
People.
Well, what do you think, Anthony, about the problem that Ray posed? Do you think we should still have city stickers?
So I'm not anti-city stickers. I think city stickers are a vital source of revenue for the city. What I am opposed to is you getting fined more than once for the same offense. If our legal system has a system of double jeopardy where you can't be tried twice for the same crime, then how is it possible that the city can fine you twice for the same offense or 3 times within one day?
Yeah, sir, I agree with you 100% about that. One time is enough. That's all. You only drive one car.
Exactly.
5 tickets on there.
That's well spoken, Ray. I agree. Oh, I think we've got another caller. Caller, do you have a comment or question for candidate driver?
Yes. I want to know, do you have any plans on lessening the fines doubling? Like you go through a toll, it's 20 cents or 80 cents or 60 cents. You get a ticket, it's $20 if you don't pay within the time frame. Next thing you know, it's like $240 and your car is getting booted, and not just one car. Every vehicle that's registered to you. So now you don't have to take care of that one vehicle. You have to pay every ticket. I have a teenage kid.
Oh, no. So do I. So do I. They're not very good at parking.
Right, and that system is another system, another barrier in place that's made to bleed our residents dry. Again, if you live on the north side and you can afford parking garages, you're not dealing with this issue. It's something that you don't have to deal with. It's another way of bleeding residents of our poor neighborhoods, our poor communities, who the city already has inadequately invested in the first place. It's another source of them to bleed us dry and to keep this sort of capitalist pyramid system in place where the majority of the people are stuck at the bottom. And we're on a hamster wheel running as fast as we can, trying to get ahead. And right when we almost get to that top, they slap us with another fine. And you're right back to where you started at in the first place.
All right, let me jump in here and give you a station identification. You're watching. What happened there? There you go. Sorry. You're watching. What? Doing that. Sorry, viewers. And KNTV.org/hotline. And today we're joined by Alderman candidate Anthony Driver. And of course, if you have any questions for Mr. Driver, please join us and give us a call at the number appearing at the bottom of your screen. Now, I didn't want to get your campaign sidetracked by just parking issues. I'm sure you've got a broader platform than that. Perhaps you can tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So I'm a candidate who's 100% about action. I'm not one who likes to sit around and wait on the government to help my people or myself. So one of the things that I'm doing right now is addressing the issue of lead in the water. So Rahm Emanuel, in April of this year, the Chicago Tribune did a study that found that 7 out of 10 homes in the city of Chicago still use lead pipes. Over 30% of those homes tested positive for lead. Flint, Michigan is 250 miles to the east of us. We saw what happened with that city, and we cannot let that become Chicago. So one of the things that I'm doing is my team has been actively circulating petitions every day for the last 2 to 3 weeks to get a referendum on the November ballot to show public support for public hearings. When the Tribune released that report, the mayor and his city council allies immediately squashed it because they don't want lead and our babies being harmed to mess up their political process. So I'm trying to force that issue, and I'm circulating petitions every day to get that issue raised and to get it on the ballot for November to show our voters, to show our city council and our mayor that there's a strong support for getting the lead out of our water and that we should have safe drinking water.
I absolutely agree. We should have safe water. Oh, Anthony, I think we've got a question again from a caller. Caller, do you have a question or comment for Mr. Driver?
Yes, I do, and
Hi,
thank you.
Stephen, right?
Yes, hey,
Hi,
how you
Stephen.
doing? Great.
Regular.
Listen, I got a quick question. I heard you mentioning about the money that's allocated to the aldermen. Well, listen, why not go after some of the TIF money? There's more money in the TIF money that could be given out to your constituents in the ward. I mean, a lot of times money just sits, and you know it goes to the chips. So again, why not allocate some of that money instead of other things? And you know, let me tell you, I understand that they get money for accessible things and whatnot. I don't see nothing too much wrong with that. But again, that TIF money, yeah, more money, and it should be given to the ward if the people need it, if it's bona fide. So listen, I'd like to get out there because I want to hear that response. And to you, sweetheart, I hope you ever got your date. I hope
I never did, Stephen. Never did. I'm still working on it. I'm working it.
Well,
I'm
listen,
sorry.
again,
So-
let it come.
So the
Just
first thing that I'll say is that each alderman makes over six figures. So you're coming in starting out making $108,000. That actually increases each year. If you make six figures and you still need to use your automatic expense account to pay for personal expenses, then you don't deserve to be an alderman in the first place. That money should be expensed for the ward. That money should be used for its constituents. And absolutely, there's the TIF money, which we absolutely need to look at more, and we need to look at using that TIF money to build a robust job training program, because that's one of the things that our ward needs very badly, is a robust job training program where our residents can come in and receive the proper training that they need so they can go out and get some of these high-paying jobs, get some of these labor jobs, and some of these high-skilled jobs where they can help lift themselves and their families out of poverty. And the last thing is also I want to democratize the process of the aldermanic menu. So each alderman also gets $1.32 million every year. So $1.3 million every year to go to a street repavement, camera lights, to go towards the street lighting, whatever that they want to allot that money towards.
And I'm sorry, what was it called? It's called the
It's called the aldermanic menu.
menu?
Yes.
Menu.
So the Department of Streets and Sanitation gives them a menu of things they can choose from and spend up to $1.3 million every year. And what our current aldermen and the aldermen around the city have been doing is looking at the precincts that vote the highest and allotting resources to only those precincts. I believe that's totally undemocratic, and we should put that process back into the hands of the citizens, where they vote on projects, where they vote on alley repavement, where they can vote and have a say-so in what goes on with the money that they spend in taxes.
Well, yeah, I was wondering, what projects do you think are needed in the 20th Ward with that menu money?
So I think there's a lot of vacant lots that go uncared for. I think there's a lot of abandoned buildings that need to be boarded up properly. I was just out canvassing near Sherman School 2 days ago, and there's no stop sign and there's no street bump. I forget the name of the things you put in the road to slow down cars.
Yeah, it's a speed bump, right?
Yeah, a speed bump. So imagine how unsafe that is.
By school.
Right in front of the school. Right in front of the school. How do we let this slip past? Like, who was asleep at the wheel and let this happen? That's where our most vulnerable people are. Our children are in there. They should be protected.
And what do you have plans to develop the economy, to build businesses in the 20th Ward? Do you have any plan for that?
Right, absolutely. So with training a new workforce, with this job training program, that's when we have a workforce that's able to compete and able to go out to some of these high-paying jobs. And now that we have that base of support, we're able to lure more businesses into the ward, into the community. But also, we have to make sure we're holding those businesses accountable. So all of the businesses that are in the 20th Ward should be giving something back to the community. So if you're a business operating in the 20th Ward, I don't need to, as our current aldermen have, I don't need to shake you down and ask you for campaign money or campaign donations. What I want to do, take some of your revenue and give it back to the community. Let's create even if you don't give it back to the community, hire people from the community.
Oh, Anthony, I hate to interrupt, but I think we have another caller. Caller, do you have a comment or question for candidate Driver?
Yeah, it's a comment. First, I'd like to say, if you would zero in on one issue, I would make it the aldermanic salaries. That these people are paid $108,000 is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they're all incompetent, but they all have so many vested.
It's a part-time job too.
Right, they're all corporate yes men in a sense.
Yep.
$75,000 would be a nice healthy figure, and they should not be guaranteed pensions for the rest of their life. The one alderman that's not running again, that's all over the news now. It makes me sick to think that guy could live another 50 years and collect a pension and that pension's going to go up. If you zero in, right now, and this is just advice, I don't mean to be overly critical, I think you need to zero in on a couple things, and I think you get the best bang for your buck, so to speak, is your aldermanic salary. These people aren't anybody special. There are all kinds of talented people in the city that might be willing to help to improve any ward or community. But when you see people like that who always think they should be guaranteed raises forever, they should have these ridiculous pensions, it's unbelievable. And I wish you luck, but more than anything, I wish people would just vote out a lot of these incumbents. Most of them are in there much too long.
So
go ahead.
I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I want to say thank you for your feedback.
Yes, I'm sorry, hold on, I'm going to cut you off. What's your name, caller? I think that was a fantastic point you made.
My name's Dennis.
Dennis, thank you. What a great point.
Thank you,
and
Dennis.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to cut you off
welcome.
today.
And I will say to the point of that, I would, one, say thank you for your feedback, but two, yes, when you have a job that pays $108,000, that's a part-time job, and most of our aldermen have outside practices and jobs as well.
Absolutely.
And you know you're going to be guaranteed that pension. It creates a system where you're incentivizing people to run for these positions, not because they want to help the community, but because it's something that they want to do for personal gain.
Yes.
And stay in there as long as possible so they can keep draining us.
Absolutely. They perpetuate themselves in office, and it doesn't benefit the citizens. Anyhow, you guys have a great night.
Technical difficulties.
No technical difficulties. That was my daughter. Bless her little heart. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and before... There it is. I wanted to let you know about this wonderful thing that's happening in the community here. Let me show you their flyer. It's called Party for a Cause. This is brought to you by Project Blessing Bag. I've never heard of this group, but what they're doing is they're having a fundraiser for back to school. And of course, it's here. It's on Sunday, August 5th. It's from 2 to 6. If you buy it online, it's $10 in advance and $15 at the door. And here's the beauty of it. All the proceeds, not some, all of the proceeds are going towards providing haircuts, backpacks, and school supplies. And of course, this is going to happen on August 5th, 2 to 6. And where is this going to be? Oh, here it is. It's in Hyde Park here at the Silver Room. I've never been there, but it's at 1506
It's a great venue.
East 53rd Street. And of course, and that's in Chicago. So if you want to find out more about it, I'm pretty sure you can go to the Project Blessing Bag. All right, and we're going to have to wrap it up, but I just wanted to give Mr. Driver the last word here.
Last word is I would say it's about time that our most vulnerable residents in the city of Chicago, in 20th Ward especially, get what they deserve. And that's not just the University of Chicago and a new presidential library. That's not corporate interests. It's about time that the everyday man is lifted up. The single mom, the person who may be struggling with addiction, the working class professionals, the students who are off in college who want to come back home to a safe environment. Those students deserve better than what we've been giving them. I'm the candidate who can give them that. You can find out more about my campaign. You can visit my website at www.driverfor20th.com. That's driverfor20th.com. You can find me on all social media at Driver for Chicago.
Is there a phone number for your campaign website, or how do we get in touch with you?
Yes, so I have a campaign phone, but I'm going to go out on a limb and I will give the audience and anybody who has questions for me my personal phone number.
All right,
I'm always accessible. I'm always accessible, and I'm always here to serve my people. So you can reach me at 773-387-4711. And if you'd like to shoot me a personal email, it's anthony@driverfor20th.com.
Oh, and one more thing. I was wondering, is there a problem with the violence in the 20th Ward? And if so, what's your plan on that?
Absolutely. There is a problem with violence in the 20th Ward. But first you have to start with prevention. So you have to give people an alternative. You cannot flood the neighborhood with weapons and drugs and then starve a community for 30, 40 years and then punish them for acting like starved citizens. So we first have to address those issues, and then we can begin to address the violence in the community and actually work with some of the people that are perpetuating this violence, not to lock them up, but to bring them out of that system and into a working environment.
All right. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Driver. I wish you great luck in the campaign.
Thank you for having me.
And this again, is this on the November ballot?
No. So I'm galvanizing around the November ballot, but my election is the municipal election, so that's February 26th of next year.
February of 19. All right, and thank you for watching, everyone, and participating in today's show. And of course, I'm Jan Kowalski McDonald with Greenslate I, and my guest tonight has been Aldermanic candidate Anthony Driver. Thank you, Anthony, for being here.
Thank you.
And tonight, my technician has been Pookie. Thank you, Pookie. And my executive producer is Ziff Sistrunk. And thank you, and have a good night.